This yam is too small. It would not be enough for only me.
In a quiet village nestled deep within the green hills of an African country, Beauty had a name. And that name was Fat. Not just any kind of fat. The women of the village proudly carried wide hips, thick arms, double chins like folded blessings, and bellies that jiggled when they laughed. The bigger you were, the more desirable. In that place, beauty was weight, and weight was wealth, health, and worth. Girls were praised for every pound they gained. At weddings, the bride's roundness was celebrated with songs and dances. During festivals, contests were held to crown the Queen of Plenty, the woman with the biggest tummy and softest arms. In that village, fat was sacred. But then there was Nara. Nara was slender as a reed, with a tiny waist, firm skin, and cheekbones that dared to show themselves. Her figure was the kind sung about in cities far away, but in her village, it was a curse. "Are you sick?" aunties would whisper behind her back. "She's too thin to bear children," some would say. "Even wind can blow her away," old men chuckled, shaking their heads. The other women mocked her in broad daylight. Young boys laughed at her when she passed. Her mother wept in silence at night, ashamed that her daughter was not woman enough. Nara tried everything. She swallowed mashed yams with palm oil, drank cups of goat milk day and night, and even visited the old herb A-list, who gave her concoctions thick as glue. Still, she remained slim. Her body refused to become what her heart desperately wanted, accepted. She wrapped cloths around her belly to fake a tummy. She stuffed her cheeks with sponge to make her face look rounder, but people noticed. The laughter grew crueler. Then, one morning, after years of trying to fit into a shape that would never be hers, Nara packed a small bag and left the village. No one begged her to stay. Some were even relieved. She arrived in the city, weary and scared. The roads were loud with honking, and the people moved like rivers. But something strange began to happen. Men stared. Not with mockery, but admiration. Women complimented her skin, her walk, her posture. Boutique owners offered her free dresses. A photographer begged to shoot her picture for a magazine. For the first time in her life, Nara was seen. Not for what she lacked, but for who she was. Years passed. Nara became a model, then a fashion icon, then the owner of her own clothing brand, Nara Body. She toured cities, spoke to women about self-worth, and challenged the idea that beauty had only one face. One day, she returned to the village, not to prove a point, but to visit her aging mother. The villagers gathered to see her. They gasped. Nara stepped out of the car like a goddess in heels, her skin glowing, her head held high. The same people who once mocked her now stared in awe. Their children wanted to touch her. The women asked her questions. The same men who laughed now bowed their heads in shame. After all, Nara smiled. She had once wanted to be like them, but now she stood strong in her difference. Not because the world had changed, but because she had. And in that moment, the village began to wonder. Perhaps beauty had more than one face.